Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Clinic. This is a new-ish podcast hosted by Dr. Molly O'Banion and myself, Ashley. Just a regular gal still. The premise of this podcast is all things pets and veterinary medicine. Dr. Molly does that part. I'm here to make sure she's not being a pompous turd and using words us normal people can understand. Each episode, we will dive into different aspects of veterinary medicine, interesting cases seen at the clinic, and just general advice on pet ownership in hopes of educating and giving a glimpse into our world. So, let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It is regular Ashley and Dr. Molly, and today we are talking about Parvo.
The poopsies.
The oopsie poopsies, because they got no controls over it. It is. In all honesty, Parvo is very rough to watch. It is a very painful experience, obviously, for the animal, but also as people in the vet industry. It is, I don't know, I guess I'd almost describe it as an emotional journey, hoping, you want to see the puppies get better, and
it kills us. This is one of those things that we hate seeing because it's so preventable. And when it comes in, it's so hard on them, and the mortality rate, which is the death rate, is so high. It's just so sad. It's like heartworm disease. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this when you could just give them some shots and they'd be fine?
So we are going to spend this episode kind of diving into exactly what is Parvo, where it's found, symptoms of it, I guess probably some more details about what's happening once they get it. And then, of course, preventatives and the types of treatments available. So, yeah, let's dive in. Molly, what you got?
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Parvovirus. We're talking about canine parvovirus, type 1 and 2 specifically. Yes, it can go into cats from a dog, but it's very, very rare. And if you get your cat sick because your dog was sick, you should probably go buy a lottery ticket because you're one of the lucky ones. The vast majority of the time, it is in our dogs, specifically puppies and or immune suppressed children, which means that they're already sick with something else and their immune system is just not doing the most. Where they get it from. Parvo is a virus, and it lives on a fomite, and when they lick the fomite, eat the fomite, etc., it goes in their bellies, and then it causes chaos. What is a fomite?
An organism.
Kind of, sure.
Nailed it.
It's an inanimate object, but it could be an organism, like a blade of grass.
I don't think I won that.
So if I have Parvo, and I go have diarrhea in the backyard, then there's Parvo on the grass that I had diarrhea on. And then if you walk by and you lick the grass, this is really gross, then you get Parvo. That's a fomite.
Okay, so step one, don't lick.
Don't let Molly poop in the backyard.
Don't let Molly poop in the backyard, and don't let Ashley lick it afterwards.
Yes, this might be challenging.
I hope y'all are taking notes.
Parvo can also live for months to years if it's not in direct sunlight or in extreme temperatures. So if I pooped in the grass 7 years ago, it could still be dangerous.
You heard it here first, people. Molly is dangerous.
We're out of control. That's how the vast majority of these guys get it, is from the grass exchanges. However, puppies can get it in utero.
Would mom have to have it first?
Yes. So if mom is not vaccinated and she's really young and she's susceptible to it, and then she gets prego, all of those puppies can get it, and then they essentially have no chance. They can still be born alive, but then they get really, really sick really, really fast, and it's really, really ugly.
Yeah.
And then mom is also sick and giving birth, which sounds horrible.
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know about that.
So what do we see? What do we see? If a dog has Parvo and they walk into the clinic, what do we see? Specifically,
vomiting and diarrhea.
That's the vast majority. And usually, the vomiting and the diarrhea has blood in it because it's a hemorrhagic gastroenteritis. And a lot of the times, they're already dehydrated and they look like they just feel like poop. Pun intended. And there's a smell.
Metallic.
There's a specific parvo scent. You could almost make a candle, but I don't know why you would want to because it's really bad. Yeah. But you could. And it's a specific parvo smell. And most of the time, if they even walk in the lobby, everybody's like, ooh, that smells like parvo.
Yeah. To me, it's like it smells very much like, yeah, you have like the diarrhea or vomity, like acidic smell. But then the parvo aspect to it, to me, it almost communicates like what, like iron. Like I'm assuming it's from the blood that's getting into the grossness. But it has a very like blood metallic-y smell to me, combined with the poop.
It's because the GI tract is shedding its lining. It's the lining you're smelling.
That's gross.
Sorry, it's true.
And it's not like the inside of the lining. It's like all of the intestines just go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. They shed their skin from the inside out. Ugh. And so you can see, sorry, this is graphic. Children, cover your ears. You can see chunks of GI tract skin in the poop. With the blood and the vomit. Probably mixed in because they're tap dancing in it.
Don't do the tap dancing part.
Sorry. And not only can we have vomiting and diarrhea and dehydration, but parvo can also get into the bone marrow and cause bone marrow suppression. So while they're bleeding and they have this massive inflammatory event happening, their bone marrow can't produce the new baby red and white blood cells that it needs. So they just become anemic and they get all of their white blood cells are used up and they don't have any more to spare. And then they can also not make any more platelets, which are our clotting factors. So then they just start bleeding everywhere. And then they go into a DIC event and then they die.
And that all happens usually pretty quickly, I feel like. Because we'll have patients here who it seems like they may be making a recovery, but at least haven't gotten worse. And it seems like they're stable, and we'll even start to get our hopes up. And then it's just like all of a sudden in like a 1 or 2 hour period, just total turn.
You should never turn down the alleyway.
Never turn down the alley.
It's the DIC alley. It's not good.
The DIC alley?
Dissimulated something coagulated. I don't know. Hold on.
She doesn't know a word.
You got me.
I got her.
Wait, here.
No.
Do it.
Now it's apparently my problem. It is a disseminated intravascular coagulation. Ha!
That was good.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Do you feel like an adult?
No, I still have laundry I need to do.
Well, that's not as fun. So when you eat the blade of grass that has been pooped on.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're going back. When you eat the blade of grass that has been pooped on, it takes 7 to 10 days to start showing symptoms for the parvo to replicate enough in your system to cause you to be sick. And then you start showing symptoms. And then within about 48 to 72 hours, you kind of know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Are they going to get stronger and start showing improvement and get better? Or are they going to DIC and bad things, not good things? As far as diagnosis goes, usually we get them within a day or two because they've been pooping and vomiting everywhere and the people are like, something's happening.
Decreased appetite.
Lethargy, dehydration, all the fun things. There is a snap test that is really, really simple. You just take a little stick and you scrape the inside of the colon with the little stick. I like to get the lymph nodes too because it goes in the lymph nodes first before it goes into the colon. The lymph nodes at the back of the mouth. And you scrape the back of the mouth before you scrape the colon.
Everyone is trained on that, just so you know.
Yes. And then you just put it in the little thing and you pop the top and it has this liquid that goes down and then you mix it together and then you drop it in the little snap test and the snap test will show us, positive or not. False negatives are possible and I do feel like I see them occasionally.
Yeah.
False positives, we don't get that much. So if it comes back positive, it's pretty certain that it's positive. If it comes back negative and it still looks and smells like parvo, I'm probably still going to treat it the same.
Yeah.
Even if the test says no.
And that can be a And this happens across multiple different types of bacteria and viruses, but there are things out there that are developing resistance to what we normally treat with. So it could be that the false negative is just because the body is resisting it in a certain way that the test picks up on, but it's actually in the system another way.
Yeah, and recently, like last year or the year before that, I feel like they found a new mutation of it because it is a virus,
Sounds
so it can
really
mutate.
familiar.
So I think they found a new mutation, and it was more widespread up north.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were getting more false negatives with that new mutation. Like the test wasn't picking it up as much.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary. But I'm assuming people are doing something about it.
Yeah. There's probably science happening for it.
As well as, so in conjunction with this Parvo Snap test, usually we recommend blood work so that we can see what level of dehydration, and that's where we can find that pancytopenia, where the bone marrow has shut down and it's not producing anything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a prognostic indicator of this is not going to go the way that we want it to go. If we're still having trouble and we've gotten that false negative and we want to go the extra step, you can do a biopsy of the GI tract, but usually getting that biopsy is not ideal because you don't want to go through surgery while they're dehydrated and very, very sick. But the biopsy will show the parvovirus little parties going on in the villi of the intestine.
Yeah.
You could also do a necropsy after they're passed if you're worried about the other dogs in your house.
Is there any benefit to doing the surgery? Because I haven't seen that since I've been here.
No.
There's no reason to do the surgery to confirm the treatment that should have been started before surgery started.
It's more stress on their body. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then it's harder for them to heal because they're so sick. Like, it's not. Yeah. The only times that I've seen that is if the symptoms aren't as severe and the patient's been suffering for it for a while and we can't figure out what it is.
Okay.
Because then we're looking for other things too.
Yeah. So almost like an exploratory side.
Kind of. But it's still not ideal. But with all this doom and gloom, there is a bit of a bright side. Recently, the parvovirus monoclonal antibody has come out onto the market, which has changed the game.
Hugely. It has been really cool to see.
It is lovely. So back in the day, parvo used to be a death sentence for over half of the patients, especially if they were really young or really small, like those little Yorkies that come in. They really don't have a chance. They just get so bad so fast. But with this monoclonal antibody, it's just one injection. You give it one time in the vein. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but can't put a price on life, right? You give it in the vein once, and it changes the world. It gives them immunity to the virus so their body can know what to fight better. You do this with all of the other treatments that we usually do, so your IV fluids and your supportive care and your B12s and your antibiotics and your anti-inflammatories and all of those things that we love so much. Cerenia, as close to magic as we got. But it takes it from like a 60% chance of death to like a 10 to 20% chance of death, which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And they start feeling better within a day or two compared to like a week of nasty, which is also great. Why can't we just have that for everything? Oh, I diagnosed this disease. Let's go get that shot and give it IV, and then all is better.
That sounds awesome.
Which is why I like surgery, because you just cut it out and you fix it. Ugh. Okay. Let's talk about vaccines, because this is all so preventable. We shouldn't even have to have this talk.
That's true.
Which is annoying. We shouldn't have to have this talk, because it's so easy. You start at 8 weeks old, you give them 3 to 4 parvo vaccines, 3 weeks apart, done. Done.
Done.
Done. Even if you give them 1 to 2, they're not fully covered, but it makes it so that if they get it, it's significantly less risky.
Yeah.
And they're able to fight it off so much better. I don't recommend giving 1 to 2. You need to do the 3 to 4. Usually I recommend 4 for like your smaller breed dogs and 3 for your bigger breed dogs. But if you have a bigger breed dog and you want to do the 4th, it's just extra protection. For those of you who don't know if your dog has gotten the parvo vaccine, when you get your DHPP, your DHPP, it's one of the P's.
It's one of the P's.
It's December, hepatitis, Panleuk, yeah, and parvo. It's the P in the DPP. Yes. So usually for our puppies, we do 4 DPPs, and that's your 4 parvo and distempers.
Yeah. And the reason so we do it the 4 times, and you space them out every 3 to 4 weeks. The injection, you're building up the immunity in the system. And we want to make sure that immunity is strong. And then once they get up to a year, then you start doing the vaccine every 3 years. Or no, once a year.
You do it once a year until they're like 3 to 5 years old, depending on the vet.
And then you switch to every 3 years. And then I was also going to say, to circle back just real quick, in regards to the parvo monoclonal antibody, whatever.
That was close.
That was close. That is something that Dr. Molly carries at Northwest for sure.
Kleinbrook.
At Kleinbrook as well.
And if Willis needs it, they just come pick up from one of us.
Yeah, there you go. So that is something, if it's
we share.
Something you're in need of, if your pet gets diagnosed with it, you can, if you're in the Houston area, you can contact us, and that is something that we can do here.
Because it is expensive for us to carry, so not all clinics carry it, but I just think it's so important. And if I can have one of my clinics carry it and we can just pass it around, then it works.
Yeah.
It's just so, it really is a game changer.
Yeah.
Truly. Sorry.
Okay. Fast forward back to Vaccines.
Vaccinate your dog. It's worth it. Trust me. It's like what, $27 for the shot versus $1,000 to $2,000 for treatment.
Yeah, I think closer to 2,000.
Actually, in some of the ERs recently, I have seen a dog with like $6,000 of parvo treatment, which I thought was just nuts.
That is nuts.
Just nuts. Hopefully it made it. I don't remember. After paying $6,000, I would hope you would make it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's parvo. That's the gist of parvo.
It's the gist of parvo.
It's bad. Vaccinate your pet. If you don't vaccinate your pet, let us do the monoclonal because it makes life easier. Oh, people who can't avoid IV hospitalization. I wanted to touch on that. If you can't avoid IV hospitalization, which is IV fluids like directly in the vein, which is really best because it's coming out both ends and you really need to rehydrate them fast. Sometimes you can go home and do fluids subcutaneously, like we said in our last episode, which is where you give fluids underneath the skin, and it's better than nothing, but it might not be enough.
Yeah, and also that be aware that the at-home management is, I mean, we set you up with kind of the schedule that we would do if the pet were to be under our care during the day, and it's, I mean, you might need to be taking action every 2 hours.
And it's oral medications, and if they're vomiting, the oral medications aren't absorbing as much as they should, which is not ideal. So if they're in hospital, not only are they getting those fluids directly in their veins, but they're getting the injectable medications, so we know they're getting the full dose.
Yeah. So it's not impossible to do at home, but best chance of success, if you can afford it, is let them be hospitalized.
Yeah, at least for, probably 2 days. Probably 2 days, if not a little bit more, depending on how the pet's responding.
Yeah.
But There are at-home options. They're just not ideal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, like, things that people have told me they do at home for parvos. I feel like one person told me once they were shoving baking soda down the dog's mouth, and I was like, please don't do that.
What?
Yes. Parvo's one of those things that they have old wives' tales for, and I have yet to hear one that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
But now that I'm trying to think about it, I can't think of any of them. Except the baking soda one. Please don't do that. You're going to cause ulcers, which is not going to help.
That will speed things up.
Yeah, it's not going to. Oh, man. Ugh.
Oh.
Okay. As always, if you have any questions about parvo, shoot me an email. I know how to read, I think.
Hopefully. Some days.
I know that was the down and dirty of it. Fast. Hopefully you got some information. Hopefully you haven't had a dog that's been diagnosed with parvo. If you have, bad, go get your vaccines.
Yep. And always remember, don't lick the grass after your friend has pooped on it.
Because if you had a dog with parvo, parvo's probably still in your dirt.
Humans cannot get parvo. Let's get that clear. They can't pass it to us, right? No. So I guess if you want to lick the grass.
Please don't.
Okay, I'll stop. Once again, it was fantastic talking to all of y'all.
Make good incisions.
Thank you so much for joining us on Tales from the Clinic. Again, we are your hosts, Dr. Molly and regular Ashley. For more inside scoops into the vet med life and pet ownership, hit that subscribe button for any updates on new episodes. And of course, please share our channel to spread the word about what we are trying to do here. Check the podcast notes below to see how you can get in contact with us. You can find all of Dr. Molly's affordable pet healthcare clinics on social media as well. Thanks again, and talk soon.